A week from today, we'll be in the month of May, which means we are in graduation season. Are you ready for it? More importantly, is your college senior ready for it? Sue Gordon joins me now, Vice President of Career Services at Stevenson University. Great to have you on. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Good morning.
You've been writing about this and some tips for parents and for college seniors. Let's start with parents. Obviously, this is a stressful time for everybody in the family if you have somebody who's about to graduate college. What should you be doing as a parent to help alleviate some of the stress in your kid's life?
Well, I think, first of all, of course, help your child to celebrate their success in finishing their degree. It's a huge accomplishment. And if you're one of those parents whose student doesn't yet know what they're going to do yet, find ways to support them without going into the full-on nag mode. And I think that's always a tension that we parents feel. But make sure your student is aware that there are resources at their institution where there are people who really, really want to help make sure that your student reaches what we call their first destination goal, whether that's a job or grad school. So almost every institution is going to have a career services office. We have the Office of Career Services at Stevenson. And that office is going to provide them everything with help from figuring out what they want to be when they grow up, if they don't know, to making sure their resumes and cover letters are in tip-top shape. And, of course, we have strong relationships with employers and online jobs databases. So the first question that parents should be asking is, hey, have you been to your school's career center? And then I think ask those students, if they say yes, to have them give the parent a little bit more detail, the name of the advisor they've spoken to, or maybe they could offer to sit down and look at job postings with them. But they also want to be empowering their student to do this job search on their own. But I think the first stop is, are they using the resources available to them?
All right, so if a kid is graduating in a couple of weeks and does not have a job lined up, how concerned should they be? I mean, where should the panic level be for a graduating senior without a full-time job lined up?
At this point, the panic level should be pretty low. It's pretty normal for a new graduate to not have a job lined up right now. Probably 40 to 50% at least of grads don't. One of the reasons for that is not all professions hire well in advance. So there are college recruiting cycles, finance, accounting, engineering, where they might be recruiting in November, or they may have recruited from an internship class. And your student may know some of those kids who have a job, or the parent may know that their next-door neighbor's kid has a job, and that makes you think, ooh, something's wrong with my kid.
Right.
Not necessarily. Chances are good that your child is looking in a field where they're not going to hire until they actually need to fill an opening. So if your child had been looking in February and applied for a job that needed somebody in April, they probably wouldn't be selected. So now is absolutely the time those kids should be working, or those young adults should be working on their resumes and cover letters and activating their social network to find that job so that when that employer is ready to hire in late May, June, July, that your student is ready to go and in the mix. But it's completely normal for a vast majority of fields, be they social services, small, medium businesses, to be hiring only when they need to find somebody. So usually most of our grads are going to find a job between 3 and 6 months of graduation.
We're talking with Sue Gordon, who's the Vice President of Career Services at Stevenson University. So how is the job market right now for entry-level positions for people graduating with college degrees?
It's still looking good. The National Association of Colleges and Employers just released some new data. In the fall, their employer surveyed had indicated a 4% increase in hiring year over year from the 2017 grads. They've modified that a bit to be down 1.3%. However, that's the decrease is restricted really to two industries. One is retail due to the changing landscape of the online versus the brick and mortar, and the other is insurance, where those industries aren't hiring as many people because of all the disasters that happened last year and the incurred expenses. So the rest of the world is looking pretty strong in terms of that entry-level graduate employment.
All right, let's go on this. What is your recommendation? What do career specialists say in general terms? If you can't find a job in the line of work that you want right out of college, in your specific major field, should you just take a job, right, and do something until you find the job, the career path that you want to get into and find exactly what you're looking for? Should you just work? Should you go find a job at Starbucks, or if it's in retail, as you mentioned, that some retail jobs aren't hiring as much anymore? But what should you do if you don't have the perfect job lined up? for a college grad?
Well, that is a fantastic question. So I recommend students have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. So the perfect job may be plan A, and maybe that's not landing. It is good to continuously build your resume as you work toward that. So I would first recommend trying to find work perhaps through temporary agencies that might get something a little closer to the skill set you're looking to develop in the job you want to enter. Temp jobs, particularly if you're in a field, can help you to develop networking contacts. But yes, absolutely building your resume. And even if they feel like they need to take that retail job or a service job, there's always skills you develop while you're working. The top skills employers seek are communication skills, critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, and teamwork skills. And you're going to develop that in almost any job you take. But I would say a plan A would be your field. Plan B would be something maybe similar related where you can develop some skills, get a paycheck. Plan C might be any job. Plan D would be parents' couch in the basement. I would try to avoid that. Students need to realize that the perfect job may not be there at first. Taking a job that isn't perfect will help develop their skills, build their resume, build their network, and make them ready for the next step.
All right, very good. Thank you, Sue. Pleasure to have you on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Sue Gordon is the Vice President of Career Services at Stevenson University. I always say, get a job, keep a job, don't quit your job, don't leave your job until you have another job lined up. Keep the income flowing in. 6:55 on WBAL News Radio 1090.